welcome to the deep dive. If you're looking for, well, a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed about what's really moving the crypto markets, you are definitely in the right place today.
Absolutely.
We're going deep into a really fascinating part of the digital asset world. We're focusing on the pretty exceptional trading volume dominance of Solana, SOL, and also XRP.
Yeah, two big ones.
And look, this isn't just about the surface buzz you see online. Not at all. Our whole mission here is to, uncover the fundamental drivers. We've got some surprising facts, actually, and the strategic thinking behind it all, straight from the sources we've gathered for you.
And what's really interesting, I think, is that the research we pulled together, it points to a real foundational shift happening under these big volume numbers.
A foundational shift. How so?
Well, it's not just pure speculation driving things. The data really suggests something you might call an institutional revolution. It seems like institutions are fundamentally changing how these assets are seen and used.
Okay, institutional revolution.
Yeah.
That's a strong term. I like it. And to really get what that means for Solana, for SOL, and for XRP, let's unpack some of the really compelling stuff from our sources.
Let's do it.
So, starting with Solana, we'll look into how it's become really a leading blockchain for these high-performance, decentralized apps. It leverages, its proof of stake, its smart contracts.
Standard stuff for a modern chain, but executed well.
Exactly. And its own crypto, SOL, it does two jobs, right? It secures the network, people stake it, and it pays for transaction fees. It sets up this pretty solid economic model that drives its actual use.
A necessary foundation.
But what really jumped out from our research on SOL, and maybe this is where that institutional revolution you mentioned comes in strong, are three big drivers for this volume explosion we're seeing.
Okay.
First one, massive institutional capital deployment. Big money moving in.
Exactly. And when we say unprecedented institutional backing for Solana, it's not just, talk. The sources give concrete examples, like Upexi buying nearly 1 million SOL tokens.
Wow, 1 million SOL.
Yeah, that's an $18 million bet from an institution.
Yeah.
It's significant. And it feels less like a quick flip and more like strategic corporate treasury stuff, real adoption.
And that kind of move, it creates this incredible sort of cascading effect, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
When a big name like Upexi publicly puts down that kind of cash, it sends a powerful signal, right?
A very strong signal.
So retail investors, they see this high-level validation, they get more confident, maybe feel safer putting their own money in. It just broadens the whole market impact.
Yeah, it legitimizes it for a wider audience.
And the numbers, well, they back this up completely. We're seeing, what, $11.57 billion in just 24-hour trading volume across almost 1,000 active markets. That kind of deep liquidity, that's exactly what the big institutional players need before they jump in.
Precisely. They need to know they can move size without wrecking the price. So yeah, it's validation, but it's also structural. It enables further institutional involvement.
Okay, so that's the capital.
Yeah.
But moving beyond just money, the second major driver we found for Solana's volume is network scalability enhancements.
Right. This is key. The sources show Solana's dev team is actively proposing to actually double the block size.
Double it. Okay.
Yeah, which directly tackles potential capacity limits. And that's critical because you've got this just explosive growth happening on Solana DeFi, NFTs, even meme coins.
Oh, yeah, the meme coins like BONK and WIF, they've been huge on Solana.
Huge! And new projects are popping up daily, so the network needs to keep up.
So then we're seeing a pretty direct link, when you say, between these proactive upgrades to the infrastructure and this growing institutional confidence.
Absolutely. It makes sense.
As the network proves it can handle the load, handle this really vibrant ecosystem, the bigger players just feel more secure engaging, which naturally pushes up trading activity.
Exactly. They need that reliability, which actually leads us neatly into the third driver.
Okay, what's number 3?
Ecosystem activity metrics. So our research flagged a, quote, surge in active on-chain addresses.
More people actually using the chain.
Yes. And that's coupled with that booming meme coin scene we mentioned, plus strong NFT trading. This mix, it doesn't just create hype, it generates organic demand for SOL tokens beyond just speculative trading. People need SOL to do things on the network.
Ah, okay. So I think I'm getting it. This growing ecosystem, all these apps and transactions, it directly increases the demand for gas, for SOL to pay for those transactions.
Precisely.
Which then creates this sort of positive feedback loop, right?
Yeah.
More activity needs more SOL, driving trading volume higher, making the ecosystem more attractive.
It's a self-reinforcing cycle, exactly. More utility drives more volume, which supports more development and so on.
Okay, so those three things, the big institutional money, the tech upgrades for scale, and just tons of real activity, they paint a really compelling picture for Solana's volume. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a strong narrative.
But Solana isn't the only one making these massive waves, especially in the institutional crypto world. Let's switch gears now. Let's talk XRP. How does its unique setup drive its exceptional volume?
Right, XRP. It's interesting because the XRP ledger, it's actually been around a while, launched way back in 2012.
Yeah, it's one of the OGs.
Definitely. And it's consistently been innovating in specifically financial payments. Unlike a lot of newer chains focused on, say, DeFi or NFTs, XRP ledger's architecture open source, permissionless, it was basically purpose-built for cross-border payments and institutional use right from the get-go.
So that specific focus, that history, gives it a different kind of edge.
A very distinctive edge, yeah. And that specific positioning leads us right into XRP's main volume driver that our sources highlight. Its institutional liquidity advantage.
Okay, institutional liquidity advantage. What makes its liquidity stand out compared to, say, Solana or others?
Well, what's really clear from the data is just its, quote, exceptional liquidity and deep market penetration.
Deep penetration, okay.
And again, it's not just talk. The numbers really show it. It's consistently one of the most traded cryptos globally. We're talking $17.01 billion in 24-hour volume.
Wow, that's even higher than the Solana number we saw.
It is. And across way more markets, too, 1,660 active markets. The scale is just undeniable. 1,600 markets. That's incredible reach. And it's not only about simple buying and selling spot trading, is it?
No, not at all. That's another key point.
The sources also mention something pretty wild about options trading.
Yeah, a staggering 337% surge in XRP options trading volume.
337%.
Which tells us you've got sophisticated institutional players deploying complex strategies in the derivatives markets. That adds layers to the trading activity, amplifying the overall volume way beyond just spot trades. Right, so it indicates deeper, more complex institutional involvement than just holding the asset.
Absolutely. So if we kind of zoom out and connect the dots here for both Solana and XRP, what really emerges is this clear pattern. We're seeing sustainable growth, it seems, driven not by temporary hype, but by pretty fundamental factors.
Okay.
These huge volume numbers, they aren't just random noise. They seem deeply rooted in tangible things happening.
Tangible developments, right?
Yeah, whether it's that strategic institutional money coming in, crucial network upgrades happening, or just the sheer buzz of activity within their ecosystems. These aren't just tickers on a screen. They're platforms being actively built and shaped by some serious foundational forces.
So wrapping this up then, what does all this really mean for you, the listener, someone trying to stay genuinely informed? I think our deep dive today has clearly shown that understanding why these assets have such high trading volume, well, it goes way beyond just looking at a price chart.
Much deeper, yeah.
You've got the strategic institutional moves. You've got critical network scaling. You've got vibrant ecosystem activity. These assets, Solana and XRP, they're really platforms being shaped by these powerful foundational forces. And maybe this raises a bigger question for you to think about. If things like institutional adoption and the ability of the underlying tech, the infrastructure to scale, if these are becoming more and more central to the success of digital assets, what does that imply for how we even define value and utility in the future of this whole decentralized economy? Something to consider.